Partnerships are important to Fresh Produce Development Agency to be able to spread its support across the country and improve the livelihood of the people. FPDA Chief Executive Officer Mark Vodinu said with partnerships, FPDA can achieve the government's agenda in achieving the 30 million kina in the agriculture sector by 2030. He said the best way for provinces and districts to tie in work with commodity boards and government agencies is to work through a memorandum of agreement. Mr. Vorino made these remarks when inking a memorandum of agreement with the central provincial government in Port Moresby recently. He says the agriculture sector can make a real impact in transforming a community if districts and provincial authorities align their development priorities with state agencies. Mr. Vorinu also pointed out that one of the main setbacks in advancing government agenda in getting people to meaningfully participate in national development through agriculture. This collaboration has been lacking between government authorities and agriculture agencies. He said forging partnerships is the best way to achieve key development agendas.
Only way, best forward for the provinces and the districts to tie in the commodity boards and government agencies to work in partnership is to work through MOA. And we have seen that the commodity boards with their programs running parallel against the programs on the ground in the districts and in the provinces. And we've seen the need for them to work in partnership. And that has been our call. And I want to commend the governor for taking the initiative. She's been in the office not long, but I think that's a very important step that she wants to see the key commodity boards align their programs and support the government's thinking on the ground. That's critically important to create impact.
Mr. Vorinu stressed that partnership is a key enabler in driving economic change through agriculture. Hence, FPDA is keen on partnering districts and provinces in the country to drive this government agenda. He acknowledged the decision of the Central Provincial Administration in working with FPDA to reach provincial goals.
As government agencies operating in the country, we are constrained, particularly in terms of our resources. To spread across the country is really a challenge for us. And the expectations of the government and also for the people is quite enormous in a sense. And so that's why partnerships are critically important. And so that we share the resources in terms of funding and also in terms of human resources and also taking ownership of the key programs that we run on the ground so that we create impact. There you would see innovations and also translate to improving the livelihoods of our people.
Mr. Vorinu said the expectation by the government from the agriculture sector is to produce 30 billion revenue by 2030 and it needs a different partnership approach to meet this expectation.
I think the government expects that 30 billion should go into the economy by 2030. And we can't expect the same old sort of approach to expect this kind of results in a matter of 4 or 5 years. We have to come out of our comfort zone to doing something. And I think what we're going to sign is basically inconsistent, in line with the thinking of the national government and also the priorities of our strategic plan, where we would like to see all the communities transformed through partnerships with the development partners as well as the district development authorities and the provincial governments.
Provincial member for Central Rufina Pita said working in partnership with FPDA is the way forward for the people of Central Province in order to dominate the markets in the capital city.
Those are really, really important concepts that government as a whole wants to see, the whole shifting of our people to doing commercial farming. And so, because most of our farmers are still in smallholder farming space, it can be really challenging, as you and I know. But that is the reality, and we need to work around that to see how do we help our farmers individually, but also towards that commercialization. How do we use the business model of cooperatives in such a way that it does assist them to fully commercializing their farms, and in a bigger way that meets the demands of the market in terms of consistent supply and consistent quality of that supply. So those aspects put together, I thought, with FPDA just across here, it's opportune time. With me sitting in this chair and having that kind of background, I thought it's really important that we actually start this program.
Governor Peter pledged to work with the FPDA to see the MOA come to fruition. She also highlighted that Central has the capacity to feed the old city, but it needs more expertise to cultivate food for commercial purposes.
Our province is where the main market is. Why haven't we risen up to dominate the market in terms of our produce and supply to the markets here in Port Moresby? And so for me, that is really the reason why we have to partner with you. If we as provincial government have not been partnering with you, we have to partner with you now. And then our targets, what we want to achieve, must be realistic and practical, so that we can, at the end of the period of the MOA, we can be satisfied that we've ticked off on things that we said we were going to do. And every time the environment is changing around us, and farmers are impacted, we are impacted. So given where we are at this point in time and the environment within which we are in, the resource that we are in, the technical expertise that we have in our own organizations, we have to make the best of it to achieve what we are saying we want to achieve here.
Mr. Vorinu emphasized that the mandate of the FPDA is to facilitate the development of the country's horticulture industry from production to marketing through its primary function as an information source relating to horticultural activities throughout the country.
Basically, on the ground in Central Province, already we've been since our existence. It's almost 35 years. But I can be frank, quite honest, that our impact in the communities and in the villages are not quite, remarkable in terms of not doing much for Central Province. And so maybe because of the fact that we are limited by resources, and in some way we are not there when we expected. And in the backdrop where you see a lack of extension services that we enjoyed some years back, 30, 40 years ago, when extension officers were on the ground, provide extension services, technical advisory service, outreach programs, and all of that are not basically seen now. In that absence, we're trying to hold up the candle, but we struggle. So partnership is the way to go.